There we go. Hey everybody, it's Deanna Hinsz with the Sassy Girl Entrepreneur Show. Today I have a very special guest. Dr. Kristen Guillory is an international speaker, author, aunt. You have to throw in the aunt, right? Because I bet you're an amazing aunt. Business owner, and has the gift to connect at the heart level. She uses humor and storytelling transparency to take her audience and clients on a journey. She's been featured on CBS and Fox affiliates and has, as well as several other podcasts. And now I am lucky enough to have her on mine. Dr. Guillory, how are you?
You know what? I am good. I was amazing like 4 days ago because I was in Florida on the beach. I'm back in Dallas, but I'm good. But the beach, I thrive by the ocean and in the sun, and I'm sure you can relate a
I
bit.
can relate. We just moved down to Florida from Montana in July.
Oh
So we
wow.
went from really cold weather to beautiful weather, and I can't even lie, we are enjoying the sun too. So I get it. But Dallas is warm. Dallas has a beautiful climate too.
Ish.
It's
Beautiful ish. Uh, a little bit. You know what? So when Dallas has great weather, it's amazing. So like right now, it's okay, but Dallas can get really, really hot. And believe it or not, Dallas can actually get really cold. So I'm grateful for my hometown city. Shout out Dallas, but I need warmth and ocean. Okay. Yeah.
I love it. Can you, Dr. Giller, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Because I mean, I was on your website, it like figuring you out, investigating who you were and what you were about, and just wow, I was so blown away and so impressed with everything on your site, and I'm so excited to learn more about you. So, can you share a little bit?
Absolutely. So you said one of the main things. I am a very proud aunt. Like literally, you will see aunt in every bio, every social media heading, because just being an aunt gives me more life than I would ever have thought. So I'm an aunt of four boys. I am a solo traveler, of course, not doing as much in the current situation, but I'm a solo international traveler. I love doing life in other countries. So people will ask me, are you on vacation? One of my favorites is Cartagena, Colombia, and people will ask me, are you on vacation? No. Are you here for work? No. Are you here for a boyfriend? No. And they'll say, well, why are you here? I do life in other countries. I strive to go set up shop and just do life. Professionally, I was a professor for 12 years teaching in social work and counseling departments. I was a therapist for 4 years. I have done almost any type of social work if you could think of micro, so direct practice. I've also been director, assistant director of agencies, and helped to create homelessness coalitions and events and all that kind of awesome stuff. And what I do now, so I walked away from an amazing professor position in August of 2014. And this is not what I wanted to do. Like, I like comfort, I like steady money and stepping out. It was a step of faith for me. My faith is very important. So I felt the Lord tell me to leave. I said no, no. And I heard him say leave. And so for the last, since then, I've been a full-time entrepreneur and I have a consulting firm. I do a lot of professional development trainings. I still do a lot of speaking now virtually, but I still do a lot of speaking. But the main thing that I do, what takes up about 70% of my work time, is I am a speaker coach. And I love doing that. I never thought I would do speaker coaching. I'm like, coaching and speaker coaching, but it has just open doors that I would have never thought. One of my gifts is an ability to help people heal. And I did that as a therapist. I did that in social work. Never thought I would do that in the world of speaker coaching. But here's what I've discovered. I discovered that helping my clients rediscover their true voice, helping my clients to walk in the freedom of who they are and no longer dim their lights, is absolutely healing. So I love it.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. I love hearing that. And I can relate with you on taking a step out in faith. 10
Mm-hmm.
years ago, I did the same thing and left a corporate job as a single mom. And
Ooh.
I remember asking my pastor, how do I know? And he said, after I shared a little bit more, he's like, it looks like God is putting it right under your nose. Like, what do you want him to do? So I quit the next day and just put my faith in him and follow that path. And I have not looked back. But I kind of laugh because I share, because sometimes I get cocky and I act like it's me that has done all this. And right? I try not to, right? But it's like, oh, this is good. I need to do this and I'm doing that. And then he will make everything stop until the 11th hour to put me in check.
Yes. Oh, I didn't know we were going to church today. I did not know we were going to church, Pastor. So no, it's the same thing. One of the things for me, and I can 100% relate, is what I tell myself and my clients. Anytime I find myself getting really comfortable, like
Mm-hmm.
really comfortable in the work or in what I'm doing, that's an indication for me. Like that's an indication that either one, I'm a little too cocky, or two, I
Yeah.
haven't prayed. Like that's just an
Mm.
indication that I haven't prayed, or I haven't said, okay, Lord, this is what I desire to do. I think you've said it's okay, but let me partner with you. Let me allow you to guide me and lead me. And I actually we did a group coaching call with my current clients last night, and I told them, I said, y'all, if you keep trusting, if you keep walking that walk, you will never go wrong. You cannot
Mm-hmm.
chase the money. And I chased the money for a minute. Let me just be
Mm-hmm.
really honest with you. I chased the money probably in 2016, 17, where I was chasing contracts. And disrespectfully, I made these clients and the audience dollar signs, and that's just disrespectful. So I strive to go for impact first, using wisdom and discernment. And then the blessing is we get to get paid for it. What?
Yeah, right. Amen. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So let's get back to, because we did kind of go off, but I love what you shared. And I know that your words are going to fall in someone's ears that's right on that fence or dealing with that. So that all needed to be said. So thank you. Thank you
Can
for
I
being
say
so
one thing for that person? One real quick thing for that person who may be able to relate to any of that. There's two things I wish I would have done. And Deanna, I don't know if you can relate to this. There were two things just looking back that I wish I would have done at the top of this journey, like leaving a professor position that was created for me. Like it was amazing. Two
wow.
things I wish I would have done. Number one, I wish I would have surrendered the when and the how. I wish I would have surrendered when things were going to happen and how they were going to happen, because I was thinking, okay, we're going to be up and running fully in 12 months. And if it didn't happen in 12 months, I was discouraged and upset.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it didn't happen, how? The how of speaker coaching, I never thought. So, number one, the when and the how. Number two, surrender the when and the how. Number two, I wish I would have gotten coaching. And this has nothing to do with me being a coach. It's just the fact I wish I would have gotten coaching, because if you're going on this journey that you really don't know what's going to happen, to have somebody just walking with you, guiding you, pushing you, giving you strategy. I do wish I would have done those two things. I don't regret anything, but those are the
Right.
two things I absolutely wish I would have done.
I would agree. I would agree. It probably took me probably 3 years after I left to hire a coach. And once I did, it accelerated. Those aha moments just like came through. And I realized how much time, money, and energy I had wasted prior to that could have jump started a little bit early. So no, I can absolutely relate to you.
Yeah.
So what does a speaking coach do?
Right. So I can tell you what I do. I know everybody is different, because in the world of speaking, there's so many things. You might want to be more confident in your speaking. You might want to learn storytelling. You might want to learn the business of speaking. So for me, what I do is, regardless of if you want to be a full-time public speaker or not, speaking is required for what we do. If you're an entrepreneur, you've got to sell your business. If you work in a school as a teacher, counselor, principal, you are speaking to your staff. You are encouraging your students. So for me, what I do as a coach is I walk my clients through the heart, art, and business of speaking. We start with the heart. The most important thing for me, most important, is that we are connecting at a heart level. How do you do that? You present who you are, whatever that looks like, however that sounds. The majority of my clients are women. I have amazing clients who are men as well. Majority are women, and the majority of my clients are African American women. And what I have discovered with all my clients, men, women, all races, is that we tend to hide who we are. We tend to hide our essence, because the most traditional speaker frameworks were not created with me or you in mind. They were not created with women in mind. They were not created with people of color in mind, and not knocking any of the frameworks by any means. It's just an observation. And what they have done is they dismiss our essence. They
Mm,
dismiss. And what happens is I've had literally 95% of the brilliant people I've been able to support have said things like, people have told me I'm too loud, or I'm too much, or I can't be this, or can I say that word, or can I incorporate all of me? So, first and foremost, is the heart. Let's
yeah.
walk authentically in who you are on stage. The second thing that we do is we work on the art of speaking, posture, and framing your message. There's a 6-part framework, the Guillory framework that I've created, where I teach my clients how to create a powerful message. It's one thing to speak from the heart, but you need to know what you want to say, where you want to go, the impact, and be very intentional with every part of it from beginning to the end. I don't believe in starting talks with good morning. That's boring. Start it better than that. Start it with, have you ever wondered, right? Or started with some
Yep.
music. So we dance in every talk that I do. So we are either doing the merengue, bachata, or the
Stop it.
wobble.
Do you
Okay,
really?
come on now. Yes.
I am coming to one of your
Come
talks.
on, come on. Like whether it's a training on compassion fatigue or cultural humility or public speaking, I incorporate dancing. And the point of it is, and when I was a professor, we danced in class. Day one, within the first 5 minutes, hey, good morning, students. I'm Dr. Guillory. If you're able, please stand. Let's go. And the purpose of the dancing for me, it's fun, but it's not just
Yeah.
the fun. I am activating a particular part of the mind that allows you to lean in a little bit more. So yeah, virtually we are dancing. There's a dance from some years ago called the Dougie. Hey, that's my Dougie. We dance together. So anyway, so that's the second part, the art of it. What is your interactive component? How are you going to lean in? How do we pause instead of implementing a filler word? The third part is the business of speaking. I teach how to create your business, all of your fees, all of your contracts, all of that stuff that instead of saying, would you speak at my event? Yeah, sign me up. No, no, no. There's a process that needs to happen. We've got to sign some things. We've got to do it. And then I am now adding that I am teaching all of my clients how to host their own virtual event, because I believe that it's important to get on other people's stages, and I have done that, and I'm so honored. But it's also important to create your own stages. So for me, that is how I coach. That's what we do. I walk with you. I do challenge you a lot. Like, I do push you. I challenge you.
Good.
I'll say, like, encouragement. You need to delete that live. It was not good. It did not reflect the brilliance of your gift, and your gift deserves more than that. So let's do it again. So yeah, we come in that thing like that, because I
Yeah.
see very often the potential in my clients, and they've told me, Dr. Guillory, we have to latch on to your belief in us because we don't see it yet. And I'm like, cool, latch on, because I do. I
Right.
got you. I see you
Wow.
doing these things. So that's what I do. That's what I do in a coaching space.
I love it. So I know you said when you first left and started this journey, this was not what you saw yourself doing. So
Oh
so how
no,
the heck did it happen? How did you end up doing this?
ma'am. Okay, so let me tell you. So when I started the journey, I was thinking, okay, great. I'm going to go and be this full-time speaker, because I was already speaking prior to leaving, and full-time trainer, and I'll open this consulting firm. That's what I thought. The Lord didn't say that. He
Yeah,
just said,
right?
leave the professor job. I'm like, okay, well, we're going to go. And it was great and successful. And I kept looking back at the professor job. I did. I did not let it go until the
Mhm.
end of 2016. Like, I literally kept looking back because I thought I made a mistake. I thought, like, this is crazy. I have all these letters behind my name. Who lead, And so I left it, and I heard the Lord say, you've got to release that job, because I need both hands in order to give you and have you do what I need you to do. So I kept teaching college graduate classes here and there. And at the end of 2017, he said, you've got to be done teaching college classes. Huh?
Oh, wow.
I can't just
Wow.
teach
That's
one?
scary. That's
Right.
scary. You're letting go of
Very, because
everything you're comfortable with.
yes, that was my comfort zone. He was like, I need you to trust. So I let it go. I stopped teaching all the way, like full time 2014, all the way 2017, January of 2018. I was sitting on my couch, and the Lord just started, as I would call it, downloading ideas. And I picked up a piece of mail, like a piece of mail, and I just started writing everything He was telling me to do. I'm like, what? Okay. Okay. What are we doing? And I wrote out information and how to implement a speaker boot camp. So literally, I
Oh,
wrote out
wow.
everything to host a speaker boot camp. And I mean, all the plans on the back of a piece of mail.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, we'll do it. I'm nervous, but I'm going to do it. So I hosted my speaker boot camp, very nervous. I'm thinking, well, I'm not this name and I'm not this name. And what if people, oh my gosh, what if no one wants to hear me? And I did it. And we sold out and it was a great event. Then a month later, I got my first one-on-one client. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then people kept asking me about another boot camp. I was not planning to do another boot camp in 2018. I did the one in April. Then I thought, well, I'm going to host another one. So I hosted another boot camp in October of that year, and that one sold out. And I got my first coach that summer who encouraged me to launch a group coaching program because I was doing one-on-ones and my boot camps. Did my first group coaching program called Next Level, and we launched in December 2018. So no, none of this was part of it. And I remember around like January 2019 saying, okay, Lord, things are going really well. And I'm so grateful. But I'm not helping people heal. I'm not. And that's where he reminded me, yes, you are. So no,
Mm.
none of this, because the three types of coaching I wanted to do, it was coaching Black women working on their doctorates. That was one. The second was helping people who have just taken a step of faith walk that journey. That was going to be two. And number three was coaching. That was number three. And both of my coaches, I told them that. They said, all three of those are great. All three of those are needed, but speaker coaching would get you clients now. Like you could really make a name for yourself in speaker coaching. I'm like, speaker coaching? I don't want to do that. And then one coach said, can you just start and give it 6 months? Just do. I'm like, okay, then after 6 months, can I go to my Black women and PhDs? And can I go? And he said, yes, but give it 6 months.
Yeah.
I gave it 6 months. Things were going so well. I was like, well, let me give it another 6 months. Let me
Were
let me
you
give it
doubting
another.
it or were you enjoying it?
Oh, I was enjoying it.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. It was the thing. I've always been an encourager. I've always mentored. I've always coached actually. I just never called it coaching, just as a
Mhm.
soapbox statements. I don't really like the term coach because it's so saturated and there's no
Yes.
barrier to entry in the field and all of that. But what I've realized is the cream will rise to the top. So just operate in your fullness and your genius in your lane. So I enjoyed it and I loved it. And then I decided because I was the Jack or the Jane of all trades, if you will. I was really good at a lot of stuff, like
Yeah.
really good. And I said, you know what? Let me become excellent at this. Like,
Yeah.
let me really focus on speaker coaching. I was going to launch some other types of coaching in 2019, but because of just how things were taking off, I said, you know what, I'm going to wait.
Yeah.
And so I've really only been doing speaker coaching. I am going to launch some other coaching things this year, but yeah, so I love it. I do believe I am excellent at what I do. I am one of the best. You may not know my name right now, but meet somebody who's worked with me and they will tell you. And that is I know that. And it's part of
Yes.
the gift the Lord has
Mhm.
given me, my background, my experience I bring, and just those natural things. But no, I love it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love your story. And I feel like our stories are so similar. And the
Mm,
things you're sharing, I mean, I can absolutely relate 100% with so much that you're talking about. So, a question for you, right? When you are working with a client, speakers, obviously, what mistakes do you see? Because I do speak. Now, I got into it again by accident. I was the person, just little background, right?
yeah.
I was the person in high school that would never raise their hand to give a presentation. I would get sick to my stomach. My degree's in psych, and I debated on going into psychology or business and chose psych. I liked both topics. But truth be told, the biggest reason I chose psych was because I didn't have to take public speaking classes. And then I find myself being asked to speak, and I absolutely love it. But I have not been coached by a coaching speaker or a speaking coach. I'm sorry. I think it's a great idea, right? But what are some common mistakes that you see with people like me, right?
So first of all, we relate in so many ways. So we're going to need to talk when this is over.
We
Okay.
are.
So first of all, so my major was psychology.
Oh my
My
goodness.
minor is business. I thought about majoring in business, minoring in psychology. So similar things there. I would say, and honestly, with speech classes and public speaking classes, I've taken them and I'm not knocking, there's no judgment with any of those. But what I realized why we get so nervous in those spaces is because number one, we're not being us. Like we're not being us. We are presenting in, I have to talk like this in good morning and my 5 tips for the day. And this is how the book, I don't think we know that we can casually be us. My clients ask me, Dr. Guillory, are you like fully you when you do corporate events? I said, for sure. And I might say for sure in the event. And it's just one of those where there have been times where I tried to cover me up and downplay it, but those things I would downplay, my clients or my students would come. A real quick story: when I was first year as a full-time professor, I have a theme song. I have a theme song that some young men I mentored created for me years ago because I would host these events, these girls' conferences and boys' conferences. I would co host them. And one of the young men, he said, Dr. G, it's really hard finding clean and positive music. Can we create some? What? Can y'all create music? Yes, please. And so they created a song called Never Find Another. And it's just a hip hop song. You will never find another lady quite like me. And so I played this song in class. The next semester, I didn't play it because I was like, I'm already the youngest professor on this campus. I'm already like one of the only Black women on this campus. I'm not, no, I don't need to be doing that. So day one, second semester, and I'm starting like, good morning, blah, blah, blah. And I see this, I see a hand. And I said, yes. Dr. G, where's your theme song? I was like, what? How,
How
how
did
do
they
you know?
know? They heard
Right. How do you, yeah, yes, they did. They said last semester, everybody was talking about you. Like everybody was talking about, do y'all know about this new professor who's like young and cool and she plays this music? She's like, that's what we were all waiting on. And I
Wow.
said, y'all, nobody else is playing hip hop. Nobody else is playing a theme song, let alone a hip hop song.
Yeah.
They said, so, and it was in that moment that was one of the top 3 moments for me where I was like, okay, then I'm never gonna not be who I am. It's that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I just got a
Yeah.
client who heard me say what up in a video. Like she said, I saw you say what up, what up. I want to be like that. I want to be more comfortable. Did I just get a client from saying what up, what up?
Yeah.
What? And so I would say that ties back to number one. That's one of the first, I would not call it even a mistake. I would call it an opportunity for growth or a
Mm,
blind spot. A blind spot is I don't know that I don't know. So I would say the
right.
number one is for those who speak, not knowing that it's okay to be fully who you are when you speak. Like if you say what's up, you can say what's up. One of my clients is from Panama and she said, I said, how do you start your talk? She says, I said, hello, good morning. Girl, you don't say that in any other conversation. What? I said, if you're on the call with your friend, what do you say? She said, well, I normally say, hola, chica. Then say that. She
Yeah.
said, but I'm going to stand out. Exactly. Say
Right.
that.
You want to stand out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's the first one, not being us. The other mistake that I've seen is speakers wing it. I think winging it is so disrespectful. You have got to
Mm,
put a little bit of time into what you're about to say, whether it's 2 minutes of remarks or a 3 hour training. You have got to practice. I can tell when someone is winging it within 30 seconds. I can tell always. And I'll use those as teachable moments. And there's no judgment, right? It's one of those
right.
where, hey, if I'm leading a training, if you've ever winged it, let me see your hand. Okay, awesome. Don't do it again. Okay. Don't do it. Don't do it again. Because I believe that when we wing it, we are disrespecting our audience, we're disrespecting the gift, and we're disrespecting our craft. And
Mhm.
to put some work into it, because a professional athlete would never get on the field without warming up. They would
Oh,
never get on the
yeah.
field without looking at the playbook or reminding of some things. Yet, speakers, I don't care how long, I still practice. I have spoken literally 1,000 times plus. And I
Wow.
still practice. I still write out I have a keynote talk I'm giving in 2 weeks, and I am writing out my outline because that's just, I want to honor. So I would say being self. Number two, winging it. And then number three, in the virtual space, I would say another one is making sure that you're eye level with your camera lens, making
Mhm.
sure that you're talking to your audience. And then a bonus mistake that I at times see is not knowing that you can charge for what you're doing. You can be
Yeah.
paid for this. And I notice, again, I think these are just all blind spots that I wouldn't call them mistakes, but just kind of opportunities for growth
I
in this
love that,
area.
opportunities for growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I shared a little bit about my speaking journey and the fear, and I will be honest, like, I still get nervous right before I get those butterflies, right? Even doing these podcasts, right? This is like my podcast, so it doesn't really matter. I can say what I want, how I want to, and but I will still get that little bit of like, oh, because I really want to compliment my guest. I really
Yeah.
want to bring value to the listener, right? So there's reasons I still get a little bit nervous, but so something that I do is so I it's going to sound a little nuts. It might sound nuts. Maybe it won't, right? Because we're on similar wavelengths. But I almost create this persona of me, of the confident me, the in charge, the don't mess with me, I got this, I'm the best, to start it. Now once I start, I'm good. Like I'm good. But it's like that little ramp up. But for other people like who are afraid, right? They may have a speaking opportunity or they really want to speak. Like
Yeah.
they have a lot to share and but they are afraid. They're afraid to get on camera and do that live. They're afraid to get in front of their classroom, or maybe the age level they're at they're okay with, but another opportunity, and maybe they move to a different age level, and that's intimidating, right? How do you overcome that fear?
Do it scared.
Easy enough.
Do it scared, you know? Do it scared. And I love what you said. Like you had to create your own persona, but once you get in it, you're good. And,
Yeah.
and honestly, I think many of us do that. For me, I start with music. I love music, but that also helps me to get in my zone. There's a
Mhm.
song by DJ Jubilee, which was a very popular song when I was in college called "Get It Ready," and it's a New Orleans bounce song with a lot of claps. Get it ready, da da, and we're clapping, clapping, clapping. For me, that helps me get into my zone. So I come in and I might have you clap, 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 and so I think a lot of us have that. Whether it's starting out with the persona, and I love that you said once I start that, then I can get into fully me. I love that. The thing that I notice some of my clients will do, they will stay in the speaker persona. And I'll cut
Mhm.
you off. I'll say, cut that speaker persona. That's not you. Go. Nah, speaker persona. Do it again. And then, so I would say for the person who is nervous or fearful, here's what I believe about being nervous. Being nervous is totally okay. Being nervous is an indication that what you're doing is important to you.
Mm.
I still get nervous. I still get nervous. If I am not nervous before a speaking engagement, that's telling me I'm walking in too cocky or I haven't prayed. So I still get
Right.
nervous, and I have spoken, like I said, over 1,000 times. I've hosted hundreds of events, and I go live with my group coaching clients all the time, and I still get nervous because it's important. And that little bit of nervous energy for me is necessary, because if I'm too lax and too like, hey, y'all, what up?
Yeah.
That's fine, but that's not me. So I would say
Right.
do it scared. Being nervous is okay. And then remember the why.
Mm.
Remember why it is you are leading this workshop or sharing your story. Remember the why. And another part of that fear piece is you can be you. And it circles back to the first one. We're scared of, what are people going to think?
Mhm.
What are they going to think of me? I don't know anybody who's ever gotten ill or been harmed from somebody's thoughts.
Yeah,
So
you're
what
right.
that is I was paralyzed in 2015 because I was so worried about what other people would think. I was.
Mhm.
I was so worried until I thought, well, wait a minute. What about the people who do need what I have to share? What
Yes.
about the people who need what this is? So it's okay to be a little bit scared or a lot scared. It's okay to be nervous, but remember the why. Like when the Lord downloaded the speaker boot camp for me, I was nervous. I
Yeah.
was scared, but I knew I needed to do it. Like,
Mm.
oh my gosh. So yeah, I would offer that. Just whatever it is, do it scared. If this, so Marley Furlow. I'm saying her name wrong, but she is,
Oh, Marie
yes,
Forleo.
Marie Furlow said, and I know I said her name wrong again. She did a video the other day, and I don't know her, so this is not promoting her, but go check out. She did a video the other day about fear, and it said, I wonder if fear, as opposed to the fear like literally keeping us safe, like, uh-oh, get out of the road, but I
Right.
wonder if fear is actually telling us to go. Like that
Ooh,
fear that we have of doing this, or that fear to leave that relationship, that fear
yeah.
to apply for this school, this fear to do this talk. I wonder if it's go. So that resonated with me so much that I have
Yeah.
shared it with all of my clients because, yeah, I think sometimes that is it's time.
Yes, I
Let's
agree.
get it.
That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it
I
is.
love Marie Forleo. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
when I first started, she was a huge resource for me, watching her
Mm-hmm.
videos and reading her blog post. And yeah, she has great information that she shares. And I love that because I didn't see that, but that's good. That's a that's a good one,
Yeah.
definitely. So, who should hire a speaking coach?
Sure. So if you are number one interested in being more comfortable speaking in public, if you're interested in being more confident, if you are interested in even learning how to frame your message, you know you have a powerful story, you know you're passionate about this area, but you are not really sure how to frame it and put it where it needs to go and take people on a journey, I would 100% encourage a speaker coach. If you want to learn how to monetize your message, if you want to learn the business of speaking, if you want to learn how to create a workshop series, if you want to learn how to turn a workshop into a 3-part program or curriculum, I recommend a speaker coach who has that background because there are speaker coaches who specifically will help you create an amazing story. But they may not have experience in the business area, for example. There are coaches out there who specifically can help in this one. But regardless of what the goal is, I do 100% recommend coaching. Even if you work with someone for a 2-hour intensive or attend one of their events or purchase, I recommend it for every person who does any type of public speaking. Attend something. So I'm leading public speaking workshops for different organizations across the country, and there was in one city, I was leading the public speaking segment. And of course, when you hear public speaking, you might think, I know how to public speak. I'm good with this. I took this class in college.
Yeah.
And when I started, I could tell that there were a few in the room who, like, they enjoyed me. I could tell they liked me, but I could tell they also were like, I don't really need this because I'm good. By the end of it, they rushed. I could tell, like, I know this. I could tell, like, oh, they don't, they need this. Just wait. And so by the end, oh my gosh, this was amazing. Thank you. So it's again a blind spot. We don't even know what we don't know in this world.
I love it. So, how can people get in touch with you, right? If they want to hire you, they clearly, I know I can use some help, but how can they reach you?
Absolutely. So you can, easiest way to find me on Instagram, and you see my name here on the screen, just remove that period, put it together at Dr. Kristen Guillory. That is my Instagram handle. My email address is, if you now replace the period with the G and add an at, that is my email, drg at KristenGuillory.com. So Instagram or Facebook too, but Instagram or email would be great. If you have any questions, if you're interested in coaching, I also post tips quite often. I post videos from time to time. I have some videos on YouTube. So yeah, I give a lot of, as my clients will say, God, you give a lot of free stuff. I do. I do, because the thing is, I have a lot to give. So I do want to at least give people information who may not be sure if they want to invest the time or money into coaching. You can still get some great information. But yeah, so holla at me, y'all. Message me. It's all good.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing. I know that I personally have learned a lot just in the
Oh,
short amount of time we talked today, and I'm so encouraged to learning more from you. And if you're listening to this and you're feeling Dr. Guillory's vibe, definitely reach out to her and connect with her as well. So thank you so much for coming on.
thank you so much for having me, and congratulations to you on your podcast and everything that you are doing. So this is awesome. So yeah, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. We'll catch everybody next week.